Sonia Liza Kenterman, the director of TAILOR, which is in the Balkan competition of 25th Sofia Film Festival. I will start directly from the specific visual style of this film, which leads us to the, let's say, good tradition of old Italian cinema. I imagine the times of Fellini. So the character is somebody living nowadays, but in the same time in his own bubble into these times, probably.
Yes, well, he's definitely living in modern Athens, but he lives in his own old world bubble, as you said. So it's as if time hasn't passed through his life, and he's almost like a period character. But that's mostly, I think, because he keeps the values of his father, and because he keeps sustaining this microcosm of the tailoring shop, which seems to be in a bygone era.
And he is really skilled. He's a craftsman, and he lives in the world nowadays when everything is ephemeral and something like this. I mean, the conversations that he had on the street, they are really significant for understanding, let's say, his inner conflicts.
Yeah, well, I think it's because he has been living isolated from the outside world for such a long time. He doesn't seem to have any friends or family besides his father. And his only friend really is this 8-year-old girl who they seem to identify kind of, because he's still kind of a child himself. So when he goes out in the world, everything that he hears and he sees becomes very significant because he has been so distant from modern Athens. I hope I'm answering your question correctly.
No. I try because this is for the audience that will just about to see the film. I try to open the door, but a little bit for them, not completely.
Okay.
But we should say that he crosses certain boundaries. I mean, he develops. He entered the Athens nowadays. But it's also dangerous. He's about to destroy another family without being a bad person who would like to do it. Just falling in love, he's on the edge to destroy something.
I think he doesn't destroy it in a sense that he keeps
intentional.
showing.
It's not intentional.
That's what I mean, that he keeps showing. But so he keeps his craft alive. But he does let the bank take the shop, so he will lose the family shop, but I think there was no other way. There was no way to save that, and that's a reality for most of the very traditional crafts that they're unfortunately dying in our modern societies. But he manages to keep his art and craft alive and continue his love, in a sense, but finding more up-to-date ways to do it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm interested, how did you get to this story? I mean, because you wrote the story, you're co-writer, you're two people who wrote the script,
yes.
Yeah? And but it's not just writing the script, you should imagine it visually, because I have been to Greece, it's Greece, definitely, but I could see also places that I never been, like Argentina or something like this, into this story.
Yeah, you're right. Well, you're right that while we were writing the script, we were also doing always location scouting. So whenever we came up with an idea that we want a more rural, let's say, area, but in Athens, I would do location scouting to see if that actually exists. So we would incorporate all the places I would find during the writing. But it started as an idea. The initial idea was a story about the financial crisis in Greece and how someone loses everything and a family tradition, and what the options would be for a 50-year-old man when he's about to lose everything. And I'm saying that because it's this turning age where people don't have many opportunities or new ways to reinvent themselves. So that was initially the idea. And then we were also very interested in crafts that are dying and fading away. So we combined these two. But the more we started writing the story, the more I think we developed the character. And then I think we kind of moved from the initial idea, the more social aspect of it, and we developed more the childlike, immature, coming of old age story of this man.
Mm-hmm. And you show actually kind of multi-layered big city. You have this social aspect, especially the conversation in the bank in the beginning.
Yes.
You have the old people, the friends of the father who are over 80 or even over 85. You have this Russian-speaking family, so I don't know the story. Probably they are Greeks who grew up in Uzbekistan or somewhere else, or I don't know. So you have many flavors. I mean, and also different times, the 60s and the 2000s.
Yes, because it's the 60s. I think they're kind of still alive in the film through the character and all these 80-year-old friends of the father. So through the father, I mean. And then the woman, she's Russian and she's an immigrant and she's married to a Greek taxi driver. So again, for us, the initial idea is that he will identify more with a, let's say, outcast, and she's the one who will become also his muse and the person who triggers him to do more. But also they understand each other because they've been exorcised a bit from the society, both of them. So that's why, and he brings creativity in her life.
And she brings creativity.
Yes.
And the very special character is the child. The child is a very special character. It's like her face is like Amélie Poulain as a child, but she's a great actor. I see that she will become a great actor.
I'm not sure if she's interested in acting. I did meet her in her elementary school, in the drama class in her elementary school. But anyway, I liked her because she's so clever. I mean, as a child, she's extremely clever. And also because she's more like a boyish girl. So, and I like that she seems to be more powerful than him. Like she has the upper hand in their friendship with the TAILOR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's her first role, and you said that she's not even interested in being actress, but probably this is the way. I mean, some people have the inner flame to without wanting to be something.
Yeah, it's correct. I
It-
mean,
it's my observation.
Yes.
And what was the biggest challenge and the most probably difficult thing to make the whole puzzle?
To make, sorry?
The whole puzzle of realities into this film.
For me, the biggest challenge was to sustain a tone of the film, in the film. So because it has a lot of comic elements, I hope, and the character himself brings a bit of a fairy tale world quality in the story, but still it's a realistic story and in a very realistic environment. So for me, the biggest challenge was how to to keep a balance between all these different qualities and styles.
And you are personally both Greek and non-Greek, so you have two different angles to see the, let's say, the reality of this film too.
Yes, you're right. So I'm half Greek, half German. I have been born and raised in Greece, but I do understand that the German character is somewhere there and comes alive and judges things from a different perspective. So anyway, I guess my upbringing and my life is also a bit strange because Greece and Germany are the two complete opposites. So perhaps, yes, that had something to do.
But the film is definitely Southern type of film. I mentioned the time of Italian cinema of Fellini. I mentioned Argentina. So
that's
yeah,
amazing.
this is Southern type.
Thank you.
But
we also studied. We also studied some French comedies from the 60s and the 70s, and the actor studied Buster Keaton quite a lot.
And I'm curious about the international audience, because it's also a co-production, and it's already had its premiere in Belgium and Germany, or still not? Or
not yet, because we have secured cinematic distribution in both countries, but we are still waiting for the cinemas to open, of course.
But you already have some feedback from here and there, especially from festivals.
Yeah, we were lucky because we got to have our premiere in Tallinn Film Festival, which actually took place, I mean, with physical presence. Tallinn was interesting in a sense that it's a very different culture and mentality than the Greek one, of course, and the Balkans. But luckily, the actress who plays in the film, she's Russian, and she was with us. So we went together. And because she speaks Russian, and a lot of people in Tallinn speak Russian, so she could communicate more, and they were much more uptight with me, and I couldn't understand how they felt about the film so much. But the moment she spoke in Russian, then everything changed in the cinema, and people started talking and opening up. So that was interesting. So then she translated to me, and she told me that they liked the film, and they felt more the social aspect of the film. Whereas for Greek audience, I think the social aspect is not so strong, but it's more the character and the more kind of fairy tale world he creates. Yeah, so I get very different approaches on the film.
Which is great, actually.
Yes, it's nice.
I mean, I need a kind of message from you to the Bulgarian audience, something, a couple of sentences.
Okay. Hello, I'm very happy to share the film with you, and I wish we could be together in a cinema to share the experience. It's a story about a man who still lives kind of like a child, and it's a coming of old age story of a tailor who is trying to take life in his own hands and manage to escape from the shadow of his father and find a way to reinvent himself and keep his craft alive. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it will resonate with you.
It will. Okay.
And you know, the story of the film started, not the story, but how we made the film started in Sofia, because we were part of Sofia meetings with a script back in 2015, I think. So it's very nice to be back in Sofia. I would so much wish I could be there, but it's okay, next year.